Welcome back to SG Car Mart Reviews. Today we have the Mercedes AMG A35. AMG is German for AMG. So here's a fun fact. The A35 AMG is the most affordable AMG car you can buy in Singapore today. But some of you keyboard warriors, I know you're watching, say that you can buy an A250 and kit it up and chip it up and it will make the same horsepower and look pretty much the same like the A35. But Mercedes AMG say that this car is different. It has better torsional rigidity and also a better four-wheel drive system. Well, it is after all an AMG car. But if you look at it, to be honest, it doesn't really look that much different from like a A200 AMG line. You do have a different grille over here and a badge, an AMG badge up front, some chrome bits, and when you come to the side, you do have a badge here, which pretty much all new AMG cars come with. And these wheels, to be honest, they look pretty much the same as your ordinary AMG line. The only real difference that this car offers as an AMG car is really when you come to the back. You do see a more aggressive rear valence over here, and you do have these two exhaust pipes. This car is really quite understated, and in fact it reminds me a lot of the old AMG cars that I grew up with. The W211 E55 was a really understated and special car. This somehow retains that recipe of an AMG car in terms of looks. That's quite cool actually. I like an understated car. The Mercedes-Benz A35 AMG 4MATIC is priced at $225,888. The 2-litre turbocharged engine produces 302 brake horsepower and 400 Nm of torque. The 7-speed dual-clutch transmission brings the A35 from 0 to 100 km/h in 4.8 seconds. For more details on the Mercedes-Benz A35 or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make a smart choice on the next car. Now I know we should get to the driving bit already, and after all this is an AMG car, but we still have to talk about practicality, and after all this is an AMG car with a boot. So let's see how big that is. Right, we have 420 liters of boot space here. If you compare it to its closest competitor, the BMW M235i Gran Coupe, that car is 10 liters bigger. But with the whole anti-trolley length test, it does quite well. The boot is still a little bit short, but you still can close the boot with the anti-trolley and the luggage bag. And if you need more space, of course, you do have levers to fold the seats flat, but these levers don't allow the seats to fold automatically. You still have to push it manually, and if you want to do that from the back, well, it's not really that ergonomic. It's a little bit hard, as you can tell. If you really want to fold the seats back, it's much easier to get to the passenger side and just fold it from there to the rear seats. Alright, so the front seat is set to my comfortable driving position, and I'm just under 1.8 meters tall. And if you talk about knee room, there is quite a bit headroom, there is quite a bit wiggle room. Is a little bit tight, to be honest. The bottom of the seat comes very close to my toes, but it feels very airy back here. Seat backing is nice and comfortable, and I think because of the space that is created up here because of the panoramic glass roof, it does feel quite spacious at the back. This is actually quite comfortable for a compact car. And of course, you do have ISOFIX points if you have kids, and although there aren't any aircon blowers at the back, you do have 2 USB-C ports. Now some of you might be thinking, we'll never need a USB-C port. But trust me, in the next 5 years, I'm pretty sure everyone will move to these, so this car is future-proof. So, middle seats. Right, so there's a very firm seat backing, and well, the bottom of the seat is a little bit firm too. It's not very comfortable, to be honest. Headroom Well, there is still headroom. It comes really close, but hey, it's not too shabby, to be honest. It's really best for two at the back if you want. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Most important part, front seats. Let's go there. All right. Front seats. Now this is an AMG car, so it does come with a little bit of AMG touches. Of course, you do have this Alcantara wrapped sort of seat over here, and you have red seat belts because you are a racer. You want to feel racy and sporty. But to be honest, the A35, how it comes spec'd here in Singapore, doesn't really feel like an AMG car, to be honest. I mean, it looks pretty much the same as the AMG line Mercedes A-Class. You do have this perforated sort of soft touch material over here and some wood trim. But if you look around the car, you know, there's not really anything that tells you that this is an AMG car. You do have an AMG logo over here on the screen, and if you notice, this screen is a little bit small, but customers in Singapore won't get this small screen. They will get the full 10.25 inch display. Of course, you have two of them, and here are all your infotainment functions. You do have Apple CarPlay. Strangely enough, Apple CarPlay is a really small screen, doesn't really use all of the real estate of the screen, but no matter. Of course, it's the same old infotainment system that you've seen in, well, the new Mercedes as of today. But you do have an AMG menu, which gives you all the important figures and information, like how much G-force you are pulling, how much throttle you're inputting, and of course, how much power you are putting down on the road. Well, it is a very nice interior, to be honest, but it really isn't that special considering that you're paying $200,000+ for what is an AMG car. But the most important part of the A35 is how it drives. So let's find that out now. Alright, let's talk a little bit about comfort. The A35 doesn't come with adaptive suspension as standard. It is a $4,000 option, and to be honest, I think you should go for it because these dampers, well, they're a bit crashy at times, I'll be honest. Yes, it is a sporty car and all that kind of stuff, but if you think about it, the Volkswagen Golf R does come with adaptive dampers, and that car does way better when it comes to comfort. This one, yes, it is a little bit harsh, to be honest, and road noise is a little bit more present. But okay, at least the performance makes up for it. The A35 does offer some drive modes, of course. You can adjust it from this switch over here. Settingly, you don't have the switches over here, the AMG control buttons here. That would have been a nice touch. I'm not too sure why this car doesn't come with it. But if you dive through the dynamic menus, you can switch to a couple of drive modes. Additionally, the A35 AMG gives you slippery. Basically, it means it sends more power to the back because after all, this four-wheel drive system is mostly a front-wheel drive based one. But surprisingly, when you do push the car, especially in Sport Plus, it's very hard to trick the four-wheel drive system, if you ask me. Usually, especially like those Haldex differentials that come in, let's say, a Volkswagen Golf R, you can trick that thing, and you know, you can trick the car to like sort of like not send power to the rear wheels, and especially at full lock situations, out of corners, you realize that the car at full throttle decides to, hey, I'm going to send power to the rear wheels, and you have this sort of weird bobbing sensation when it comes to the old Haldex systems. They've improved it quite a bit, but this is very quick, I'll be honest. It is electronically controlled apparently, so it does help when it comes to driving it quickly. It's very pointy, it's very sharp. And of course, some people might say that's not fun because it's like a surgeon doing everything correctly. But there is quite a bit of fun in getting your corners right. And of course, with that exhaust, when it pops and bangs, that's quite fun too, let's be honest. The engine, good stuff. Oh, this is absolutely entertaining. There we go, downshift. One more time. Overtaking is absolutely easy when you have 300 horsepower, let's be honest. That is the reason why you want 300 horsepower, because you want it to be fast. There's quite a bit of entertainment also, I feel. You do have quite an interesting exhaust note, although it is a 4-cylinder after all. It does pop and bang, and it does have all the exhaust overruns. When you downshift, when you shift up, it farts. That is quite entertaining. More entertaining, in fact, when you compare it to the BMWs like the M135i or the 235i Grand Coupe. That doesn't really make a lot of noise. I mean, that is quick for sure, but this does the job of entertaining well. Here's what I mean by how good the four-wheel drive system is. Usually in such situations where you have full lock and you have full throttle, the car sort of gets confused and, well, wants to send power to the back, but it doesn't really know what to do. But right here, it sends the power where it needs to go almost immediately. As a driver, you don't really notice, well, the system's sort of kicking in and stuff. It is very quick and precise. So if you want to drive this car quickly, I feel it does a very good job. Although if you want some crazy stuff, you do have slippery mode. Of course, we will not try that today. I'll try it when the cameras are off. So is the Merc AMG A35 a will buy, won't buy, or go try? Well, for me, it is a go try. Closest competitor, of course, to the AMG A35 is the BMW M235i Grand Coupe. But if you ignore fast compact sedans for a moment and just consider everything as, well, fast compact cars, you have a lot more options. For example, the Volkswagen Golf R. I think the Volkswagen Golf R is a will buy for me because that car does the job of everyday driving much better than this does. And, well, it is also a little bit more better equipped. It does come with adaptive suspension as standard. But there's a lot of things special about the A35 AMG. You do have the AMG badge, you do have the very sedated styling, and of course, you have the entertainment of an AMG car. So that is quite special, I feel, for what is the most affordable AMG car that you can buy today. If you're looking for something interesting, I think the A35 will certainly fit your bill. Well, we've come to the end of a review of the Mercedes-AMG A35. What do you guys think? You think that this is a good buy, or perhaps you want to wait for the A45, the 400 horsepower mental thing that Mercedes has made? Well, let us know your comments down below, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more reviews from SG Carmart. So I'll see you guys next time. Till then, goodbye.